What's going on, world? It's another episode of your favorite sports podcast, none other than the Sports Bros podcast. With that being said, if you like what we got going on over here, do us a favor, rate, review, subscribe. If you're listening on Apple, Spotify, or even watching us, Apple, Spotify, or even watching us on YouTube or Facebook Live, just do us a favor, show us some love. And don't forget to share, like, rate, review. Also, check us out all over social media. There's the Linktree link pinned in the description / chat box, and keep up with everything there is the Sports Bros podcast. I go by the name of Eddie Cool, the HOC here. And guess what? Of course, you know I cannot do this by myself. It's not as fun, baby. Not as fun whatsoever. I'm kind of looking at the replay on TV. We don't look choppy, baby. We're looking clean and clear, and we are good to go. You know something, man? If you could just it's something when you just look at yourself on TV, look, mama, I'm on TV. Look, mama, I'm on TV. I know you're watching out for me on heaven. But with that being said, enough of my incoherent rambling. I have two of the best co-hosts in the world. Introducing first, manning the ship that is the Sports Bros podcast. He is the one, the only, the all. Might it be live?
What's happening? What's going on in the world today? Yep, it is. It's official. When you're watching the Four Letter Network or any other of the sports networks, and there's baseball, a little bit more baseball, and because the MLB is mad with ESPN, not that much baseball because they don't cover that much, and they're looking for a new contract. We're in the dog days of summer.
Yep.
It is July 1st. It's hot. There's not much to talk about, but we'll find a story or two somewhere, somehow, and there's always some type of silliness that's going on in the world of sports. And speaking of silliness, go ahead and introduce the other guy, our resident pirate. You know what I'm saying? Might as well have an eye patch.
I should. One or two.
You shouldn't have been talking junk.
No.
Go ahead and introduce the other guy, our DEI hire of the program. Yes, sir.
Man, you are wild. And coming to us live from Washington, Pennsylvania. In case y'all forgot, he is the pride of Washington, Pennsylvania. So much so that he is playing through the pain. He is the one, the only, the money man, Scotty D.
In your eyes, I am the sty in your eyes. I feel the pain in your eyes, puffiness in your eyes, in your eyes. I am playing through the pain.
Oh man,
can you see it? Can you see it?
That look like a right cross to the eye, Scotty D. Is it?
I'm a UFC fan. And I look like a UFC fighter today. I look like I took a whooping. I did. Man. I took a whooping from a couple styles. That's neither here nor there. Guys, I have to wish you both a very happy Bobby Bonilla Day.
Hey, happy Bobby Bonilla Day. Every July the 1st until he's 75 years old, Bobby Bonilla gets $1 million guaranteed.
So, you know, that's the famous one. And a couple other guys have gone through this. Ken Griffey Jr., I think, just finished a big deal like that himself last year. But I was looking, listen to this tough one right here. According to the Sporting News, here's one of the worst ever. Chris Davis. Do you guys remember Chris Davis played for the Orioles?
Yeah, Crush Davis.
Yeah, power hitter who struck out a ton. And the Orioles loaded a big contract on him back in 2016, $161 million with $42 million deferred over 15 years. Davis immediately started to be terrible after that happened. And he now will get $3.5 million until 2032, and then 1.4 million through 2037. These guys are crazy for these giving out these big condies. I mean, Otani's got a crazy one like that. That's
we're not declaring
crazy stuff, but
yeah, we're not declaring a day for him.
No, Bobby Bonilla was like the first significant one. It's always going to be. This means Bobby Bonilla got 10 more years of this. This gives to 2035 for Bobby Bonilla. But I think that was kind of a trend because you've seen other. I think Madison Bumgarner had something similar when he went to Arizona, but nonetheless, that Chris Davis one was really, really bad. But happy Bobby Bonilla Day, guys!
Yeah, happy Bobby Bonilla Day, and hopefully one day in the near future, I'll be able to sign me a contract where they be like, you know what, we're gonna give you X amount right now, but we're gonna give you all this on the back end. And as soon as I start getting all that on the back end, and y'all see Eddie missing in action, you know what happened. Hmm.
We're just saying
Eddie,
happy Eddie Cool Day.
yeah, but happy Eddie Cool Day,
Hey,
and I'll be taking a picture like Bobby Bonilla. Take a picture. I'm like, I don't know why you mean mugger, dude. You finna get $1 million for literally the rest of your life. But anyways, with that being said, fellas, we got a lot to talk about, especially this NBA free agency. But before we do that, be live, cue the graphic. Let's hop right into it. The top of the order.
All right, let's get this thing started of the order.
oh yeah,
In case y'all been under a rock these last 24 to 48 hours, it's been a whole lot going on in the National Basketball Association. Fellas, it was like what last week we got a new champion, and then no, was it last week or the week before?
the week before.
Yeah, week before we got a new champion. Last week, the world's worst kept secret, Cooper Flag went #1 to the Dallas Mavericks, and now not even a week after that, the NBA free agent frenzy is hot, heavy, and going crazy. That being said, fellas, we got a lot going on between Miles Turner going to the Bucks, SGA getting a big old contract extension, Jaren Jackson Jr. He's supposed to be getting a bunch of big old money too. And with that being said, fellas, which one of these signings stands out to you the most, or which one of these signings that you think is like this could be a bad idea or a big mistake? Scotty D, what say you?
Wasn't the signings as much as it's been standing out to me as it has been. Well, I mean, actually, I guess the Miles Turner one because that actually cost Damian Lillard a job,
Yeah,
Uh,
and he's going to be out of a job because his Achilles is just torn. But what's significant to me has been the dismantling of teams that have had recent success, such as the Boston Celtics, who have departed with Drew Holiday. They traded him to the Blazers. Kristaps Porzingis is gone, and Phoenix also, who was in the finals 3 or 4 years ago, they parted ways with Ayton, DeAndre Ayton. I think they traded him to the Trailblazers, and they've already cut him. I think Chris Paul's already gone. KD is gone. I mean, Phoenix is completely dismantled from what there was. So these teams are already becoming irrecognizable from the championships. And Indiana already started because Turner's already gone from that team. So the deck has been shuffling a lot. I didn't foresee the Celtics kind of stripping things down because next year they're already going to be without Tatum. There's talks of Brown being traded too. I don't know that that's going to come to fruition, but a lot of changes already with the Celtics, who were just the defending champions 3 weeks ago. So a lot going on there.
Be like,
um,
what say you?
the thing that got me more than anything is not necessarily the fact that Damian Lillard got waived. I mean, it is a business, even though the Dame time is yeah, it's going through it. The clock ain't ticking right now when it comes to Dame time. But hey, Dame Lillard might be okay because with him being waived, contracts in the NBA are fully guaranteed. He still gets his money in his contract, and it's actually has been spread out to where he's getting paid $22 million each year for the next 5 years. He's all
Yeah,
right.
Bobby Bonilla's
You
laughing at
know?
that deal.
Yeah.
He's like, and the thing about it is, if I'm him, rest up, lay back, chill, and I'm pretty sure somebody's gonna be calling for him when he gets healed back up.
Mm.
I think he's going to be perfectly okay. I understand, like, when it comes to Achilles injuries, they do have a devastating toll on the rest of your career. I mean, only person that's ever come out better after Achilles injury has been Kevin Durant. Most of your other significant Achilles
Took him a
injuries,
while though.
it
Took him a
took
while.
it took him a minute.
So, I mean,
Uh,
and a guy like Lillard, who is what is he, 34 years old now? Is that what I saw?
Mm-hmm.
I think he's 34. I might be wrong. For some reason, I thought I saw that. But for him, whose game a lot is predicated on speed, getting to the basket and setting up that 3-point shot, that's he's not going to be himself next year. I mean, you're not getting that player if you sign him next year. That's right. I mean, Klay Thompson's never really been the same, and he
Right.
suffered 2 really devastating injuries, but that he was more of a shooter, an outside shooter than anything, and it took him a couple seasons even to. He started playing well for Dallas this year, but his first couple years back were brutal. That's a tough one, man, on a basketball player because it's all about planting, cutting, and be able to push off and finding that right range from the outside shot.
Damian Lillard will be turning 35 this month on the 15th.
35, gotcha.
So, and it's just one of those things. That's on the wrong end of father time, but but here's the thing: the rumor mill is already full on, and the teams have already been talking about. Then one of the names that have come up is the Miami Heat. Another team has been, of course, everybody's going to rumor that the Lakers are going to pick up anybody and everybody.
Pretty much.
But I mean, LeBron James didn't do anybody any favors when he opted in for that last year of his contract for $50-something million. I'm like, LeBron, don't you have enough money? I'm pretty sure you got enough money. If you really want, if you want to go out with a bang, maybe you want to try to. No, cool. Do you then?
It's a deal for the Lakers though because they get 2 Bronze. LeBron and Bronny. They basically keeping Bronny. You got to keep Bronny happy by signing his dad. Keep his dad around.
Keeping Bronny
happy. Got to keep Bronny happy. But why are the Clippers re-signing James Harden? Why does this guy keep getting paid? He keeps making money.
They re-signed him, and didn't they sign Brook Lopez?
They did.
He went to the wrong. He went to LA, but he went to the wrong team, from what I heard. It's Scotty D. When are your Lakers going to find a center? I think they're going to have to wind up signing DeAndre Ayton at this point.
Maybe, but he's not really like the big time rim protector. I think that the Lakers were looking for. I think the Lakers were looking for more of a get up and down the floor, fast break, alley-ooping, blocking shots kind of guy. And DeAndre Ayton averages 1 block shot a game. It means he's saving you 2 points. 2 points a game, he's saving you.
2 points. Hey, Scotty, ain't that what Bronny giving us off the bench?
So there's 4 points. You get Ayton and Bronny on the floor together. That's +4 for the Lakers on the floor at that time.
B-Live was looking at me like somebody need to screenshot this. That B-Live was giving me like, what you doing, Eddie? What you doing?
Could you stop feeding into this? James,
I had to. Go ahead.
James Harden is 2 years, 81.5 million. Second year is a player option, but still, it still don't beat how much the 76ers are paying Paul George still. I think he's making $60 million.
Too much is just that's Scotty D boy playoff P.
Maybe the Lakers will get Joel Embiid. Maybe that's on their radar. Because that guy's got one out of Philly by now, right? Sooner or later he's got one out of there.
The thing about Joel Embiid, and I'll say it once, I say it again. B-Live, what's the best ability?
Availability.
And that's the issue with Joel Embiid. He has an availability issue. Like, when's the last time this man has played more than 50 games a season?
I think this year was the only one. Everybody else was out. I think he was out. Yeah, I think he was also out too. Because I think at the end of the day, like 95% of the money that the 76ers paid out this year was injured.
Sitting on the bench. You paying money to sit on the bench. Bench money. That's going to be the title of the episode. Bench money. Happy Bobby Bonilla Day and bench money. That's the title of the episode. I just don't understand that. In other news, we have Julius Randle. He stays in Minnesota. 3 years, $100 million. Yep, very good move, and a player option included. At one point in time, he did have to put the team on his back. I always like Julius Randle.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Good move for him and for the team to keep that relationship going, I thought.
Yep. Kevon Looney, he goes to the Pelicans. 2 years, $16 million. Let's see what we got here.
Who'd the Bobcats get? I thought the Bobcats got something.
Shut up.
They got Mason Plumlee, Tyus Jones, and Luke Kennard.
The Bobcats don't exist. Shut up,
Oh,
Scott.
that's who the Hornets got. I saw that in the group chat, the
Yeah.
Bobcats, and I was like, wait a minute, you talking about Texas State? I was like, no, he talking about the
He
Hornets.
being Scott.
Didn't the
Yeah.
Bobcats lose a ball? Wasn't one of the balls on the Bobcats?
Yeah, he went to Cleveland. He went to Cleveland. And I think that's a good move.
No.
Um,
Pay him no attention.
yeah, I know
The
I'm talking about the ball the right ball, the
Yeah,
right
that ball.
pause.
Lonzo Ball never played for the Hornets.
Oh,
No.
okay.
LaMelo is still with the Hornets,
Okay. You sure?
but yes,
Yeah,
he's
Okay.
still there. Even though there's the Hornets have been trading like crazy, looking like the Phoenix Suns with 17 guards.
You
And
got Colin Sexton.
that might have been the only thing that I sort of halfway like.
I like him. He's fast. He's fast.
But I did not like getting rid of Mark Williams
Mhm.
and then also not signing. See, but then Phoenix, you know what? I don't know. Like we trade to Phoenix, we get rid of Mark Williams, send him to Phoenix, and then Phoenix turns around and picks up the big man from Duke, which I feel like it's the same exact type player. But that's cool. I guess you have 2 7-footers and a whole bunch of guards, and then you have the Hornets that have no 7-footers and a whole bunch of guards. And leading the front court for the Hornets, Mason Plumlee. What is going? Oh God! If the Hornets would just stop, I get it. I'm a homebody myself. I root for everything Carolinas except we don't have a baseball team, so it's Atlanta Braves. I get it, but I don't need my teams to just continually pick up people in state just for the novelty of it.
Just because you're there.
Yeah, I would love for you to compete for titles. Now, the Panthers, I need you to draft a player from Clemson, please. At some point in time, maybe sort of kind of.
You can do it. You can
Just one time, just
one.
But
One of the good ones. One of the good ones.
but here's the thing, though. Let's put that all the way aside. SGA, Mr. Everything, regular season MVP, All Star, postseason MVP, conference finals MVP, scoring leader, NBA Finals MVP, and he gets paid in the tune of 4 years, $285 million.
Was he a Bobcat at one point?
You know what? Be Live, I got this one.
He was, I think.
He got drafted by the Hornets.
Yes.
Wound up getting traded to the Clippers. Then wound up getting traded to the Oklahoma City Thunder. I remember that, Scotty D, because I watched a documentary about the ineptitude of the Charlotte Hornets organization and the talent that we just let slip clean out the door.
Yes,
plus I mentioned it like a month ago.
Yeah.
Now we just got to keep Brandon Miller. If we can keep Brandon Miller and LaMelo Ball,
yeah,
and build around them, we'll be fine. But these Mason Plumlees and just let be live. I'm like you. I might have to go back to my old.
What's the boy named? Knuppel?
Yeah,
Knuppel.
Yeah, we Knuppel, and we ain't gonna talk about my dude from Eastern Michigan.
Hey, we ain't gonna do that. Oh boy, we ain't gonna do that. Lord have mercy. There's enough going on about that. Boy, don't make me sweat. Boy, don't make me sweat up here.
Man. You my boy, but when you showed me that from your, I said, "Oh,
look. When I saw it, I was like, all I could do was laugh because I knew it was gonna happen sooner rather than later."
You want to share with our viewers what you're talking about?
No.
He said no. He said no.
Google Eastern Michigan college player.
Yes, and go from there. That's all I got. That's all
he'll come up.
Yeah, that's all I got to say. All right, so let's just say I know of, but anyways.
4 years, $285 million. And as you know, NBA contracts are mostly fully guaranteed. So average per year, $71.25 million, which will make him the richest per year professional sports player in the United States.
That don't make no damn sense.
Yeah. And that does eclipse Shohei Otani's 10 years, $700 million. Even though 68 million of that per year is deferred and he's not getting a special day. But yeah, when he's paid until 2045, that's a whole nother story within itself. But man, the contracts are getting bigger.
Yeah, these contracts are getting bigger and the contracts are getting larger. All right, before we scoot out here, we got some time before our break. Fellas, the all quarter century team in the NFL is here. It's a complete 53-man roster and everything from Tom Brady to Devin Hester, all points in between. You name it, they're on there. All right, so here are it's broken down to by positions by quarterbacks, running backs, offensive linemen, defensive linemen, special teams, and coach. All right. So here are the quarterbacks. QB1, Tom Everett, Patrick Carmichael, Fitzgerald, Brady. QB2, Peyton Manning. QB3, Patrick Mahomes. On the practice squad will be Drew Brees and Aaron Rodgers. All right. Running backs, Priest Holmes, number one. RB2, Christian McCaffrey. And RB3, Derrick Henry. On the practice squad, LaDainian Tomlinson. Let's go over to the wide receivers. Moss, wide receiver 1. Calvin Johnson, wide receiver number 2. Julio, wide receiver 3. Number 4, T.O. Number 5, Marvin Harrison. Number 6, Justin Jefferson. And on the practice squad, Antonio Brown and Andre Johnson. Did they get it right? Did they get it wrong, fellas? What y'all thinking about it?
Quarterbacks, absolutely. Yeah,
I'm okay with quarterback. I'm okay.
yeah.
I might shuffle Mahomes and Manning as the 2 and 3, but that's kind of a push. No argument there. I'm sorry, Breeze and Rodgers. That's just too hard of a top 3 to crack into.
Yeah.
But running backs are a mess.
A hot mess. I'm glad you said it. What in the world were they thinking with this? And it's 2 statisticians that work for the 4-letter network. And so sometimes you may be just relying too much on numbers, but Priest Holmes, that man has 3 good years.
Yeah. And that's what they're going by. They said, what was it?
I pulled up the numbers.
No one matches the 3-year period that Holmes had from 2001 to 2003. Sorry, I watched him play. I watched Adrian Peterson play. He didn't even crack your top 4, and he's number 1 to me.
Oh, yeah. Where's Adrian Peterson? Oh, my God. This list is going to garbage from the running back side of things.
I mean, see, here's the thing. I'm gonna say this just for no, I can't even say that because they got Justin Tucker on the list. I was thinking maybe they excluded AP because of the whole abuse or whatever thing. But no, they got Justin Tucker on the list, and he done slipped up and got suspended for 10 games without a job. Like if he gets a job,
what is it with these dudes and these massage therapists? Like what is it? Don't these guys have wives and girlfriends?
But Jesus Christ. I was thinking that maybe that's why they excluded Adrian Peterson, but no, that's not a valid excuse. The product on the field is the product on the field, et cetera, et cetera. But how did Priest Holmes get on this list?
I got LaDainian Tomlinson as number 1. Is 2. I got AP.
I got him as number 1.
No argument. I'm okay with that.
LaDainian is number 1. Number 2, I would put Marshawn Lynch on the list.
Interesting.
And here's the thing. And LaDainian Tomlinson is the full body of work, all-purpose yards, all of that. The man was a scoring machine. I don't understand how. And I'm sorry, and this even my boy. Even when he was with Carolina, Christian McCaffrey, I'm sorry. You're too hurt. The best ability is availability. You got a good year here, a good year here, good year over here. But come on, bro.
But everything else is empty in the middle. It's a bread sandwich, literally. It's a bread sandwich with no bologna. Matter of fact, if you got bologna in your refrigerator, make sure you check on it because they got a recall on bologna.
What else is going on in this world that we live in? But yeah. Marshawn Lynch, Derrick Henry, of course.
I would even honestly, I would take Zeke over Priest Holmes. Zeke had the first 4 years of his career, 5 years were as good, if not better, than Priest Holmes. And no disrespect, I mean, Priest Holmes is a really good running back.
Oh yeah. I'm
I
saying
just don't consider him as elite as the two I mentioned. My top
could have
would
named
be
like 7 or
Adrian
8.
Peterson and LaDainian Thompson, and I probably would keep Derrick Henry on the list at 3.
No Jamal Lewis.
That's what I'm saying. I could name
Yeah,
about 10.
he had a 2,000-yard season.
Yeah, that's what I could name about 10 running backs that were better than Priest Holmes. He had a stellar 3-year run. But when you talk about a whole body of work, come on, y'all.
All right, so here it is. It says the resume since 2000, because the player, if they started in the 90s, they were eligible for the list. It says, according to ESPN in this little article, it says 9,256 all-purpose yards and 85 all-purpose touchdowns. One-time Super Bowl champion when he was with the Ravens, one-time Offensive Player of the Year with Kansas City, and 3-time All-Pro. It says, yes, Holmes is our RB1 over anyone else. Think back to the turn of the century when Holmes emerged from the Baltimore bench to drive the powerful offense of Dick Vermeil's Kansas City Chiefs, using a dynamic combination of rushing and receiving skills. Other running backs might have had longer peaks, but none of them can match the 3-year period that Holmes had from 2001 to 2003. In the advanced DYAR metrics for total value, these seasons ranked 15th, 2nd, and 3rd among all running backs since 1978, respectively, says Schatz.
I don't know, man. There's a pretty good run in there also for Edgerrin James that I would have liked.
Edgerrin James, Jamal Lewis,
so.
AP. There's 3 right there.
Yeah,
and that's not including, like I said, Marshawn Lynch, Derrick Henry, LaDainian Thompson, Chris. And I would still even put Christian McCaffrey above Priest Holmes. And so I'm like, how did they put Priest Holmes as RB1? That's wild to me.
Yeah.
I'm like, man, y'all. Ooh. And so the DER that Eddie Koo was talking about it stands for defense adjusted yards above replacement. It is a metric. It's a number system, a computer, whatever. And that they throw numbers in there, and here you go. You get this mess. Wide receivers.
I use the eye test where I even got a bad eye, and I'd still go with it.
Yeah, that's wild.
Yeah, you have the receivers in order, or do we have time to do this? Or we need to stop for a second.
So what we'll do? We got 2 minutes. So go ahead real quick.
But yeah, and so
what you saying about wide receivers, Scott? What you say about wide receivers, Scott?
Go ahead and list the receiver. You have the list of the receivers. Go ahead and list it, and then we'll talk about it on the other after we take a little. We'll break for a second.
A little breaky wakesy. All right, so here we go. We got Randy Moss as wide receiver 1, Calvin Johnson wide receiver 2, Julio Jones wide receiver 3, T.O. wide receiver 4, Marvin Harrison, wide receiver 5, Justin Jefferson, wide receiver 6, and on the bench, on practice squad, Antonio Brown and Andre Johnson. Ladies and gentlemen, stick stay. Don't you dare go away. We're going to debate this list here and see if they got it right or got it wrong or somebody don't know what they're talking about. So now we went from, was it runs? Was it wins against runs? The baseball, was it the WAR? Now we get the DYAR.
Yeah.
Oh,
defense
Lord,
adjusted yards above replacement. They just be making up.
They just walk.
We'll be back.
They say, hey, let's make a complicated ass stat to confuse anybody. We'll be back. SportsBros podcast coming at you right here live. gentlemen, welcome back to your favorite your favorite sports podcast, the Bros podcast. We're continuing our topic about this all quarter century team, the 53-man roster, and we're still trying to figure out the whole running back. Well, actually, no, we left off at we figured out the whole running back situation, and we named like 9 other running backs better than Priest Holmes. Now we're down at the wide receivers. Just to give you a quick refresher, Randy Moss 1, Megatron 2, Julio Tree, TO5, Marvin Harrison, I'm sorry, TO4, Marvin Harrison 5, Jay Jettis, Justin Jefferson is 6, and on the practice squad, Antonio Brown and Andre Johnson. What say y'all? I don't it's a lot, it's just a lot of talent here, man. It's a lot of talent. I don't know where to start. What say you fellas?
If I was to make one argument, and honestly, this is a great list. I think Julio's a little high, but I might still have him in the top 6.
Mm.
Um, don't mention a Steve Smith. I feel like I think we could put him on the practice squad as well. Like, 'cause y'all trying to keep my boy out of the Hall of Fame, and this is where it starts with a little silliness like this. Justin Jefferson, I think he's deserved this with, even though it's a very short career, but he's been dominant. Like, and like whatever you try to throw at him, it's gonna be a matter of the longevity. Will he be will he be that dude for a long period of time?
It's almost Julio Jones-esque if you look at it.
But yeah, like, it's one of those things where, like, I've always been an advocate for this. If Calvin Johnson had a longer career, I think he would be number one. I don't know. Randy Moss has been that. He's that dude. Like, I think that's a tough task, but they have Calvin Johnson at number 2, with the stats driven situation they got going on. And I can't argue against that, because the only thing that you would argue against is just the period of time. But I think,
Yeah, I think so. I think you have to consider that. I'm not changing 1 and 2. I like 1 and 2 the way they are. Moss and Calvin Johnson. I would have Marvin Harrison 3. I thought he was outstanding. And much as I did not like this guy, Antonio Brown was amazing for about a 4 or 5 year period. He's got to be on that list. I don't think Justin Jefferson's played quite long enough. So I would put Antonio Brown's crazy ass up on that list.
Hey, Brad, I think Antonio Brown right now is like he's fled the country because
he's hanging out in the Middle East.
I think he's got an outstanding warrant for some arrest.
Yeah, you're wanted for murder. So where do you go to hide? The Middle East.
What?
The safest place on earth.
Oh man, I just CTE needs to be studied a little bit more.
But he belongs on that list, man.
But body of work, like we mentioned earlier.
So good. He caught everything. He ran routes. He was fast. He was
good.
Yeah, and so I would have him over T.O. and I wouldn't take T.O. off the list. I would only take Justin Jefferson off the list for the simple fact that he hasn't played long enough compared to these other guys. And T.O. dropped a lot of balls, so I would slide him down, but I wouldn't take him off the list because his play really gets overlooked by his mouth, his behavior.
Antics.
Because T.O. was never a bad guy off the field. He was just a guy who was a malcontent on the field. I mean, he caused divisiveness on his teams, but he was an outstanding player.
All right, fellas, let's go to defense real quick, shall we? We got the edge rushers. We got DeMarcus Ware, Jared Allen, Myles Garrett, Julius Peppers, and on the practice squad, T.J. Watt, and Michael Strahan.
I think I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I don't see an issue like at all. Yeah, I think I'm good.
Yeah, I don't see too much. We don't see too many issues. But if you get a chance, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Pikachu's Rugrats and little kids. Yeah, get a chance to check out this list whenever you get a chance. And moving on to our next topic, before we go to our favorite portion of the show, we're approaching the halfway point of the Major League Baseball season. Quite eventful.
Let me call a timeout real quick.
Oh, is he going to call timeout?
Let me call a timeout. Just real quick before we move on.
Uh,
Let me see what you guys think about the tight ends.
okay.
They went Gronk 1, Kelsey 2, Tony Gonzalez 3. And then they put on the practice squad Antonio Gates. And no mention of Jason Witten, who was like number 2 all time in receptions.
See, well, okay. All right.
Yeah, I'm with you, be like.
I kind of feel like Tony Gonzalez is one over Gronk. I think I would take him over Gronk, to be honest with you.
Longevity, yes, and what he's done, yes, I get it. But then again, like I think the reason why Gronk is number one because he won some rings with Tom Brady, and then on top of that, like the dude was like what 6'8", 270,
yeah,
and was able to do what he did at that size, have that ability to, and that's one of those. That's like Rob Gronkowski is one of one. I'll go and say that he is one of one. So I kind of. And some people even label him as the greatest tight end of all time. And I was like, I don't know. But
to me, Tony Gonzalez is the gold standard. And I know Kelsey is probably has a case to be 1 or 2 also. But I think I still got Tony Gonzalez. And I would have Witten on the practice squad ahead of Antonio Gates.
I think you're a crazy person for that one.
Okay.
I know you like your boy Witten. And I'm gonna look this up real quick, because I want to make the argument because I'm actually taking Gronk off the list entirely.
Yeah,
because he's a great tight end. Mm-hmm. He was Brady's blanket. He was Brady's answer to everything. Yep. So yeah, and he's got 4 rings to show for. But when it comes to the all-time greats. I'm looking at all pros. And Gronk was only an all pro 4 times. So the amount of years that Gronk played, which he was in the league for what? 10 years? Yeah. He was only the best. He was only the best tight end in the league 4 times out of the 10 years he played. I'm just looking at the 2010 to 2018 with the Patriots and the Bucks for 2020 and 2021. So, I think it's 11 years. Yeah, it's 11 years. And he was only All Pro 4 times, where Antonio Gates was 6 times, Travis Kelce was 7 times, Tony Gonzalez was 9 times, and that's why I wanted to pull up Jason Witten.
Witten is number 2 all time in receptions on the tight end list, by the way, behind Tony Gonzalez. So.
Where's that?
Oh my gosh! I can't believe I just did this.
What'd you do?
I can't believe I just had to pull Julio Jones off the wide receiver list. I completely overlooked Larry Fitzgerald, who I consider to be one of the greatest receivers of all time.
Hey, that's a compelling argument.
He's on there.
Hell yeah! I may actually have to agree with you on that.
Yeah, because as we fish through this list, we think about who's missing, and no mention of Larry Fitzgerald. So what am I looking at? I'm looking at something here. I should be.
I'm sorry, I distracted us from the tight end conversation.
No. I think we had a consensus a little bit. Like you want to put Jason Witten up there. I'm honestly taking Gronk off the list entirely.
Yeah.
Putting Antonio Gates up there. Or do I put Gronk on the practice squad?
Gronk on the practice squad.
I'll put Gronk on the practice squad. Go with Gonzalez, Kelce, Antonio Gates.
Yeah. Because Antonio Gates was just automatic. He was just
it's one of those things where you look at Tony Gonzalez and Travis Kelce. You look at you know what? Let me look at something real quick because I need to look at
Jake Ferguson.
Okay.
What? Not no Jake
Shit.
Ferguson. Jake Ferguson.
I just still look at like Antonio Gates was like I feel between him and Tony Gonzalez they redefined it. They made the path a lot easier for the likes of Gronk and Travis Kelsey. Like I
And,
just
and Jimmy Graham, had he would have stayed healthy, he would have been something special.
Yeah,
so
he was trending that
Oh
way.
boy, was he ever. Yeah.
All right.
Good old Jimmy
no
Graham.
that is our talk from the guys that we try to do general sports, but we like football.
Maybe like football, man.
And we're in the dog days of summer, and just we miss it.
And training camp ain't too far away. Be live, don't clap. Because guess what, fellas?
I,
We gonna talk about the
no, I don't even want to talk about baseball anymore. We running out of time. This is gonna be a really long episode.
oh,
That's
we're
just
not running
ain't
out.
nothing to talk.
We'll talk baseball next week, I
They
suppose.
will talk baseball. We got
We're
time.
closing in on the All-Star break anyway.
Yeah,
That'll be a topic next week.
All right, so
Although
next.
we can't gloss over the fact that the hottest team in baseball right now is the Pittsburgh Pirates.
oh, dear sweet mother of God, please take us into our favorite.
I am telling you, them Buckers, they swept the Mets
Please,
by double digits all weekend, beat the
please
Cardinals
take
7
us
up. Let's
into.
go, Bucks. We are back, baby.
Oh Lord, have mercy! It's a fire. Looking at my phone because I've yet to get to watch, fellas. Guess what time it is?
It is time never to talk about the Pittsburgh
Let's
Pirates. I
go,
can tell you that.
Bucks.
I can tell you that much. Ever.
Oh man, I'm glad you asked. It's time once again for our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. And with that being said, hey yo, button, hit it! Choices of the voices coming at you right here on the Sports Bros
Oh, I
podcast.
saw a button last week. She gave me some chicky wings.
Chicken wings, gotta love some chicken wings.
And now, our favorite part of the show, the choices of the voices.
Yep.
All right, and we're back here at Sports Bros Podcast. Once again, thank you to the wonderful and
Ever so lovely, Miss Button, for giving me chicky wings. And
introducing our favorite portion of the show, the choices of the voices. Might have to make a trip to Oscars when I go down in a few weeks to go see Miss Button.
Might.
Will.
Will.
It's mandatory, all right?
It's mandatory to go to the Oscars. I promise you that.
Yep, finna go eat some good old chicken. All right, Scotty D, what's on tap for this week's choices of the voices?
all right, we were in the we actually were talking NFL last week about Aaron Rodgers.
Mm-hmm.
And the Steelers have shaken things up since that, as a matter of fact. And Aaron Rodgers has opened his mouth since that. But anyway, the question was
his mouth.
he did. He said, this is probably going to be my last season. It was like the day after we posted this question. He said, this will probably be my last season. So he opened his mouth like he always does. And the Steelers made some trades and all that. And so the question that applies, the blanket statement over all this is, in the 2025 NFL season, Rodgers will make the Pittsburgh Steelers a blank team, and you have the opportunity to fill in the blank. What did the people say? Some were having difficulty with the instructions, but that's not uncommon.
I got you. Happy belated birthday to TB Tony Bogan. He says the Steelers they're going to be 9-8 because the standard has been, and always will be.
Standard is a standard, Mike Tomlin.
Yep. Our Hall of Famer Uncle Max, how you doing, my man? He says 7-9, and he won't even play the entire season.
And there is very strong possibility he's correct.
Yeah, I might have this one over on the betting on that one. All right, Eric Tarpley, he says mediocre team wasn't happy when they spent money on them. The defense will have to carry the team again. Rodgers better spent the year. He's best spent the year being a mentor to Will Howard. He said, we will struggle to win 9 games. He is playing for a paycheck. This may turn into the rookie coming off the bench and finishing the season. Just got him in my dynasty league, too. All right. Carrie Havron, she says, I think he's getting a participation trophy this year. The most expensive bench warmer. Does that work better? Carrie, you might be right either way. All right. Tristan Vittorelli. Didn't Tristan just have a birthday too?
Yes. I want to say, was it last week?
Yep.
Yeah, he's old. He's decrepit.
Oh boy. And he said it'll be an under 500 team.
Mm.
Yep. Best name of the game, JoJo Comfort says 7-11. Damn. Their D will keep them in a lot of games. No, be like, let me try that again. 7-11.
Yeah.
their yeah, their D will keep them in a lot of games, but I have a feeling their offense will struggle. Their success is going to hinge on the offensive line's performance, and I'm not convinced their group is solid enough. Matty Ice Martin Tracy says train wreck, and they'll probably get the coach fired as they go 7-10. And Patrick Quinn says 9-8. Um, it ain't looking good if you're a Steelers fan, according to our voices here. Shout out to Tony, Uncle Max, Eric, Kerry Havron, Tristan, JoJo Comfort, Matty Ice, and Patrick Quinn for their participation in this week's Choices of the Voices. Scotty D, what is he going to do? You know what? Because you got a pulse right there in the city. What say you?
Rodgers will make the Pittsburgh Steelers a 9-8 non-playoff team.
Ugh.
I think they will be just good enough to win 9 games. And Rodgers may not play all 17. I could very well see him being injured and sitting a few games out. I think there's a good chance that they will go to 9-8, but I don't think that's going to be enough to get them in the postseason. They're going to be the third best team in their own division, I think. I think they finished behind the Ravens and Bengals. And I like that AFC West this year. I think Harbaugh in his second year finds a way to get the Chargers into the playoffs. I think the Broncos are very close to being a playoff team. Yeah, Dolphins still have a chance to be I think the Steelers are going to have a hard time getting in the playoffs this year. And I don't think they're going to be much different than 9-8. I could see them being 8-9 or 7-10. They will not be 7-11. I know that. They will not be 7-11. I can guarantee that. But they could be a 7-10 team, 8-9, 9-8. But I think they're going to miss the playoffs this year.
Be Live, what say you?
This is wonderful for me to be on this program to say this. The Pittsburgh Steelers are going to go 11-6. They're going to make the playoffs and lose in the first round again.
Oh man.
Here's the thing. I want you to take this from my perspective.
Okay.
They went 10-7 with Russell Wilson and Justin Fields. Don't you think they might have slightly improved at the quarterback position? Because we like to talk trash about Aaron Rodgers, but he didn't have a bad season with the Jets. The Jets are just a terrible team. He's not a miracle worker.
He didn't elevate him either, though.
Well, the thing about here's the thing.
He had some good weapons on offense, and he didn't.
His numbers were decent, but I think there's so many different follies when it comes to the Jets. I think for Aaron Rodgers, you got a better coach in Tomlin. I think you've got defense wise, I think Jets may have a little bit better defense. But I don't know. Let's compare. Who would you rather have on your team, Garrett Wilson or DK Metcalf?
Give him. I don't want none of them.
I don't know, man. Garrett Wilson's really good.
Yeah, I'll take Garrett Wilson. I'll take Garrett Wilson.
But DK Metcalf is still that dude.
He's good, yeah.
So let's think of it this way: you switch out. Okay, Pittsburgh.
But who's Steelers' second receiver? They really don't have one.
Who was their second receiver last year?
The Jets, Devontae.
No. I'm talking about the Steelers.
They didn't really have one.
Exactly.
They had Pickens.
Was it Calvin Austin?
Yeah,
but that's what I'm saying. Like they went 10-7 with that squad. You don't think that Aaron Rodgers elevates them slightly?
No.
You don't. I think you're being biased.
You know what's got to do. I mean, you know what?
I hate the Steelers and I hate Aaron Rodgers. I'm happy that I can bundle that all together. But if I was being biased, I'd have him at 0-17.
My man,
I gave him 9 wins.
And what about the Scotty? What would you have the Cowboys, Scotty D?
Nobody cares about the Cowboys. Straight
17.
talking
No, he
about
said
that.
17 and no.
Stop it.
They might win
Stop
5
feeding into
games this
that.
year. But
My
go
man
ahead.
Christian's on YouTube Live. He mentioned Roman Wilson, I think, was their wide
He's a
receiver
question mark.
too.
He's a question
Mhm.
mark, though.
But then,
He has yet to really show what he's made. He could be great. I mean, we
the
don't
thing
know.
about this, the reason why I say that is that because we've made a lot of biased statements about Aaron Rodgers because ayahuasca and all the different things that Aaron Rodgers, he's a whack job without question. He's a whack job.
Yeah.
But I'm sort of like no, that I may want him over Russell Wilson. I think he can perform better than Russell Wilson. I don't know. Is it an age thing at this point in time?
Does he throw a moon ball?
But that's all. Like
That's
I
all they
could,
talked about last time. Russell Wilson throws the moon ball.
I
Yeah.
could see the Steelers going 11. I think they can improve by
It wouldn't
one
be
game.
shocking. I think 11's high.
10 was high last year,
Yeah.
Yeah.
but that's what I'm
10 was the super ceiling.
I honestly think that they're making a lot of moves. Hey, Jalen Ramsey, welcome to. But I mean, they lost Minka
And John Smith. They got John Smith.
Yeah, but they lost Minka Fitzpatrick, which I'm like, okay, that makes whatever. Do y'all?
Yeah.
But I feel like the Steelers are trying to put something together for this one last hurrah for Aaron Rodgers, and I think they're still going to come up short. But I think they're making the necessary moves to stay where they're at. They may think in their mind that they're improving, but I think they'll stay right. I give them one win more, but they're going to disappoint their fans again and lose in the first round again because I don't see anybody still matching up with the Chiefs. I actually think the Chargers might get better next year. The Ravens, I think, are still right there in the mix of all of it. The Bills, I think, are going to improve because they're going to put weapons around Josh Allen because Josh Allen didn't have weapons and they went 13-4. You give him a weapon, good Lord, what their ceiling could be.
Yeah.
The Steelers are right there in the mix. I think the Bengals have to get better, even though they have no defense.
They have no the Bengals right now, they have no choice. They have no choice. You're what, 3.5 years removed from a Super Bowl appearance, and you've kind of just like went to the playoffs, barely made it. It's like this. If you start off slow this year, fire the damn coach because no, you can't continue this. But anyways,
and Eddie Cool, I feel bad for you. I feel bad for your Browns. It's gonna be a lot, and it's really not. I don't say your Browns, but I say you're in the city.
Yeah,
See, it's like, yeah, it's gonna be a lot. But that's what I'm saying. Like the Browns aren't getting any better. The Bengals have no defense. What would keep the Steelers from thriving, or at least doing the same thing they just did?
injury.
That's about that. That's
Injury.
I see no reason why they wouldn't do the same thing that they just did. And I will laugh my ass off because they're not going to go anywhere. So it's like Aaron Rodgers is going to get there. There's going to be a whole bunch of hoopla, and the media's going to try to make a big deal out of it, and they're going to be mediocre.
Yeah. I'm saying 9-8. They finished just above 500. 9-8. 9-8. It's going to be a long season. They're probably going to lose a lot of close games. Aaron Rodgers might powder time or two. And Mike Tomlin might say the standard is a standard. He might say we do not care, but he should care a great deal. So I think they're going to go 9-8. Scotty D, with that being said, what's on Tickety Tap for next week?
Taking a little inspiration from the ESPN quarter century deal we did earlier, we're going to ask you to name the 5 best athletes of the past 25 years. It's actually 26 years, I guess, if you go from the year 2000 to 20. We're halfway through 2025. We're doing it anyway. We're going to do that. We're going to do that anyway. Give us your 5 best athletes of the past 25 years, and the 3 of us will
all sports.
All sports. And the 3 of us will be giving 10. But our choices of the voice will be 5. We'll expand, and us 3 will play a little extra and do 10 because it is the dog days of summer and we don't have a whole lot of other stuff to talk about. So that'll give us all something to talk about next week there, Eddie Cool and B-Liv.
Next thing you know, we'll be asking you what's your favorite deli sandwich. But with that being said, that does it for another edition of Choice of the Voices.
See, hold on. Before you continue with that, the fact that when we said that the one time we did a non-sports question, we got the most responses. Like
Yeah.
when we featured cereal and we
Cereal.
got the most responses. I'm like, we are a sports podcast.
I think we did cartoon characters last year or something too, didn't we? I think we got a pretty good response on that one too. Maybe I'll come up with something like that over the next couple.
Give them something for the dog days of
Yeah.
summer
Mm.
when ain't much else to talk about.
Yeah, we're gonna let you. I think we got like 30 answers. Like, be like, I gotta read all this. It's gonna be the whole episode. With that being said,
Hey, what else are we gonna talk about?
you're right. You're right about that. We could talk about that Cowboys documentary coming in August
Woo!
on Netflix.
I love
The
the
Last
fact,
Dance called.
I love the fact that they're gonna make it look all great, grand, and whatever, and the players are in high definition and 4K with the interviews and everything. But the highlights about the story are in standard definition because it was that far along.
Grainy.
Yeah, it's like we did high definition didn't exist when the
Give me the high
Cowboys were.
definition highlights of the Bobcats. What's
And
the
would that
next?
be-
Let's
that?
move on, Eddie.
Hey,
Boy.
be
A
like,
team that doesn't even exist anymore.
Right,
Well,
Don't
exactly.
get mad at me
Lord have mercy.
because y'all still trying to live in the early '90s.
Somebody grab be like, grab the pepper
I'm
grinder
not
because
grabbing nothing. You talk,
well, I'll grab the pepper grinder. With that being said, it's time for a round of pepper. Coming at you right here on the Sports Bros
Bobcats.
podcast. You got to grab that pepper grinder because that's the segue.
Okay, boys, let's bring it home with a round of pepper.
All right, you heard the moment. It's time for us to go home and get what I call the hell up out of here. But before we go, a round of pepper. You know how we do it. 3 topics, rapid fire style. Kind of, sort of, not really here to engage, enlighten, educate, and entertain. The 4 E's in no particular order. Other than today being Happy Bobby Bonilla Day. On this day in history, back in 1859, the first intercollegiate baseball game, Amherst beats Williams 66-32 in Pittsfield, Massachusetts. I did say intercollegiate baseball, right?
What was that score?
66-32.
Sheesh.
I'm glad they should have had 9 innings and a stopwatch. That thing probably started at 6 a.m. in the morning and ended at 5:15 the next day. Over you, Scotty D. Damn.
Here is a very sad story that has me very frustrated and angry. This past weekend, Friday, former Pirate great Dave Parker passed away at age 74.
Oh.
Dave Parker was the MVP of 1978. He was the All-Star MVP in 1979. He was a World Series champion in 1979 and 1989. He was a 3-time Gold Glove winner and Silver Slugger winner, 2-time batting champion. He won the first ever home run derby, 7-time All-Star, career batting average 290. He's going into the Hall of Fame 29 days after his death. Why did it take so long to get this man in the Hall of Fame? Fortunately, he knew he was elected. He's been battling Parkinson's since 2012. He was the first Major League Baseball player to earn a $1 million per year contract, and he was voted in by the Classic Baseball Era Committee just last year and was 29 days short of induction when he passed away. This man should have been on a long time ago. Now, he had some issues early in his career with there was like some cocaine controversy. So come on, man, that was a long time ago. This guy should have been. He only the highest he ever got was 24% on the ballot. Those numbers I just read you are undeniable Hall of Fame numbers. He was the best player in baseball for about 5 years in the late 70s, and I'm glad that he's going in the Hall of Fame, and I'm glad that he saw it. But man, it's frustrating that this man passed away before he actually got to give that speech. Rest in peace, Cobra. Be live. Over to you.
Oh man. Some people give flowers to people while they are yet still living.
Yep.
Out of here with us. Yep.
Oh, all right. And I'm going to give some flowers here to the worst team in baseball. But I might not be qualified to tell the story because I mean, you know me as Be Live on the show, whatnot, but my name is Brian Livingston. It's with
Hi,
an
Brian.
I. But I'm probably not qualified because my name is Brian. It's not Ryan. And the Colorado Rockies just celebrated some crazy little thing that they started going on. And they attempted a world record attempt to gather the most Ryans in one setting
Eh?
for a baseball game. And it was dubbed the Colorado Ryan Meetup 2025. And 250 people, all named Ryan, assembled in the Mile High City to root on the four guys on the Colorado Rockies that are named Ryan. So crowd was chanting Ryan. Ryan McMahon hit a home run while they were chanting Ryan. There was a lot of Ryans going
What?
on in the Mile High City. I'm just going to share you the story. But yes, this is my pepper point. This is my first pepper point. A whole bunch of Ryans in the Mile High City. Eddie Cool, the ball.
The things you're doing, your team is 9-87. All right. On this day in history, back in 2005, Scotty D, you remember Kenny Rogers, don't you? The
I
baseball
do.
player.
I
Yeah.
do.
All right, he pitched for the Texas Rangers, and he said he is suspended. And they say he was suspended for 20 games and fined $50,000 for shoving a cameraman.
I remember that.
Remember
Yeah.
that? He was at
Yeah.
like get your ass out my way. So
Yeah.
yeah, so yeah.
He
Kenny
looked
Man,
like a big bully because the cameraman was small compared to him.
yeah, that's Kenny Rogers. Not Mr. No one to hold him, no one to fold him, but in this case, he just knew when to shove him. Over
Yeah.
you, Scotty D.
All right. Speaking of shoving, guys, I saw the best UFC fight I've ever seen this past Saturday night. Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. These guys, it was the first time in UFC history where both fighters connected with at least 200 significant strikes each in a 3-round fight. If you get a chance, find a way to watch Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. Van won a unanimous 29-28 decision. Also on that card, Ilya Tapora became the face of the UFC by knocking out Charles Oliveira. This guy is the real deal, and he's next up probably going to fight Paddy the Baddy in what will be a explosive pay-per-view. That's going to be a huge deal because Paddy the Baddy, Paddy Pimblett, he's like the next Conor McGregor, running his mouth Irish guy. And these guys have real heat. They got into a fight in a motel in London in 2022. Ilya Tapora versus Paddy the Baddy coming soon, hopefully. B-Lab, over to you.
My second pepper point. I reserved this for my third pepper point, but there'll be a reason why that we'll get into in just a second. I'm gonna move this one up for a reason. New Mets pitcher, former Blue Jays pitcher, Richard Lovelady, has just signed a 1-year deal with the Mets. Why are you laughing already? Do you already know the joke?
I know what Richard is called.
Because he is requesting to be called by his nickname, Dickie. Ladies and gentlemen, let me introduce to you the newest pitcher of the New York Mets, Dickie Lovelady. Eddie Cool, the ball.
Oh, and the Buccos beat him to death the other day, too. They just took him to the woodshed.
I was gonna say something, but I gonna say
They
the third
beat
and final,
that Dickie up.
the third and final pepper point on this day history. Back in 2018, LeBron James agrees to a 4-year, $154 million deal with the Lakers after leaving the Cleveland Cavaliers. Lord have mercy. Oh God, Scotty D, your third and final pepper point.
Don't look now, B-Lab, but guess who is a ranked professional boxer? It is none other than Jake Paul after his decisive win over Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. He could be challenging for the WBO lightweight title or cruiserweight title, Gilberto Ramirez. Look out, here comes Jake Paul, baby.
That right there is why I switched my pepper points, because I had that and I was like, I literally just made a call and I was like, I'm pretty sure Scotty D has this as his pepper point. Jake Paul is freaking ranked Just send us home. That's a third pepper point
And then
right
in
there.
closing, do
And
something
yeah, it's
nice for
over.
yourself. And if you can do something
It's
nice for someone
over.
else, they really appreciate it now more than ever. Be a blessing, not a burden. This was or is another episode of the Sports Bros Podcast. Take us home, Be Live.
Yes, sir.
Hey, thanks for
What
listening and
the
watching to the
hell?
Sports Bros Podcast. It's all going to hell in a handbasket now. See y'all next week. Y'all take care. Happy 4th of July. Y'all be safe, all right?